welcome to Ancestrally Speaking on Sunday, July 19th. Come through. Hi, Femmes of Stardust and Catherine Gardette. Thank you. You're a regular. Thank you for coming back. I hope all of you are well. Can you just tell me thumbs up if you can hear me okay? I have my AC going in the background, so I just don't know if it's too noisy and interfering with the sound. So can you let me know? Can you guys hear me? Is everything okay? Thumbs up? Let me know, let me know. Come through, come through. Welcome to the healing zone. So today I'm incredibly happy to be welcoming Ananda Free, an Oshun priestess who's going to talk about us reclaiming our innocence. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Fredwa, that it's working. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to jump Ananda into this conversation and she's so here we go. She'll be joining shortly. And I hope you're okay. Please tell me in the comments how you're doing this Sunday and how the week has been for you. Ananda, how you doing?
I'm
Hey.
good, love. It's so good to see you. You're so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. How are you doing? And the same to you too. How's this day for
Can y'all
you?
just set up some real good juju that my 3-year-old stays asleep and don't be asking for these titties while because you done heard her. Okay?
Listen, let me tell you, when I tell you I put my dog in his crate and I'm like, you will not touch anything, you will sit down, you will be very good in this period, because otherwise he'll be like, ah! And then, you know, like pulling shit down, I'll be like, sit down. He doesn't listen to me. So I know exactly how you're like, sit down, don't say nothing, don't breathe. Yeah. Everybody, please welcome Ananda Free to Ancestrally Speaking. This is Sunday, July 19th, and I am excited for this conversation because we're going to get into the healing. We got some healing to do. We got some healing to do. So
everyone.
So today's conversation, and I don't know if you can come a little bit closer or turn your mic up a little bit. That might help you as well. But that's great. Yeah. So what we're going to talk about is reclaiming innocence. Now, why is this a topic that we need to talk about? And I feel marginalized groups are robbed of their innocence from the womb, even from the thought of conception of the next generation. We're not even thought of in innocent terms, that our innocence is something to be protected, to be, you know, kind of flourished with. And so, you know, even though we're going through that, we have to reclaim our innocence.
Absolutely.
So this is where you come in. So please introduce yourself to the people. Let them know who you are.
Peace. So my name is Ananda Oshun Free. I am a priest of Yaya Oshun Ori Yayo. I'm also initiated to Ifa. And I'm also initiated to Mami Wata in West African Juju.
Yeah.
And so I am an artist.
Yes.
And a mama.
Oh,
and I, of course, have all this brown skin, this African skin.
Yeah.
And I'm really just someone who really wants to see people live their absolute most radiant and loving existence on this planet.
Yes.
And so how Spirit has been showing that to me is partially by reclaiming our innocence. And so like what that means is, I'm also an artist. And I am the chief creative visionary of Sweetweirdness.
Brilliant. Check it out, people.
I believe that making goodness where goodness is the status quo, right?
I like that.
And so that also feeds into innocence.
Okay, cool.
So real quick,
yeah,
I'm a survivor of a lot of things. I'm a survivor of incest. I'm a survivor of suicidal ideations. I'm a survivor of bulimia and body dysmorphia. I'm a survivor of severe depression and anxiety. So when I tell you I have lived in my own personal hell, and like where I am today I'm not even the person that I was then.
Yes.
You know, it's a testament to how I would just, Oshun. People don't talk about, can I really just talk about her real quick?
Yeah, go for it, please do.
So when people think about Oshun, they think about sex and sensuality, and they think about fertility, they think about wealth, right? And all of those things are our birthright. And all of the Orisha, as far as I've been taught in my limited perspective, they'll bring you wealth. They can bring you children. They can bring you whatever it is that belongs to you in this life that your destiny has come here to actualize. They can bring that to you. Oshun, she is the mother of the sweet waters. Her abode is in Oshogbo, Nigeria, right? And she heals deep. I was a hot mess. when I came onto this path. I was initiated in the Reiki systems. I knew how readings and mediumship and all these other things, and I still was very broken. Our spiritual gifts do not mean that we have overcome some things.
Ooh,
It just
say that
means
again. Say that again.
our spiritual gifts do not mean
Does
that
not
we have
mean we have
overcome some
overcome
things.
things. Please
They are
understand that,
part
people.
of they're part of our birthright, right?
That's right.
Just
Yeah.
like having this skin is part of my
Yes.
birthright.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
And the
saying?
contracts we make as well.
And
The contracts we make.
having this big old voluptuous booty, that's my birthright. You know what I'm saying?
And that's a contract in itself. Child, I got one too. What? What? I need an NDA on this shit.
Yes!
It's not fair anymore.
Yes!
What? What? People are like, oh, you're so lucky. Yeah, you try and dress this shit in a place where it has clothes with just this straight body. You try and dress this. So don't try me about, oh, you're so lucky. Yeah, lucky. Anyway, sorry to digress. There's a little bit about my booty there, but there we go.
You know, because people need to check on their big ass friends.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes. Tell them. Check on your big ass friends.
55 pounds of gloriousness on the base of my back. Okay.
Right. And that's another thing. The small of our back hurts, people. It hurts. So a back rub is always necessary.
Right.
People, please. Huh? We need them. Now, we don't need anyone creepily that we don't know just putting their hands on our back because we will smack you down. But you could ask, sister, I see you carrying a lot there. Would you like a back rub? I know the small of your back is taking a lot of strain for the people right now. How would you like this to happen? Right? Sound good to you? Right. There we go.
Now, look, and a little liftage. You know,
this is it.
You gotta wash this thing.
Just up a bit, and it'll help. It just takes, I tell you, there was a trainer said to me, you got strength for your core. And I'm like, I know, because what I'm carrying, it can't just be carried from the back. From the front has to lift it too. People, it's a thing.
Yes. People just they want to get back there and have all this fun.
It's a load we're carrying. Whew, child. Anyway, we could talk about booties all morning. We really could. I got a lot of stories for everyone in my booty. It's not even funny. Like, I walk in the street and I catch it in a window and I'm like, that's from me? That's mine? Oh, okay. Let me just look forward. I ain't looking back no more. Not until, no. I'm just not going to do it. I don't want to look back anymore because I'm looking far back. I'm like,
just real quickly, let me
go.
Digress. And then they want you now in today's date, in this climate, to twerk something. My thing twerks on its own. It moves, it has its own band.
Yes, I have that rhythm too. Yes.
You pop it.
Yes. I know. And you know, when people smack my bum, I've told them the reverb. The reverb is actually what hurts because there's lots of waves. It's like bang, and I'm like, that hurts. And they just think, oh, it's nice. They're just going to slap your bum. So anyway, so let's get back onto our goal, shall we? I'm sorry, people. That was a bum break. I'm sorry about that. Jeez. But these are the things people don't tell you. We just want to give you that. It's part of your healing.
Yes. Yes. And it actually took me a long time to claim my behind.
Yeah, it does.
A long time.
Yeah.
So,
and just to say, Kim Kardashian nor J-Lo helped us claim any part of our behinds. Just a disclaimer.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Right.
Not at all.
We just have to say that.
Yes, it's important for people to know.
Yes, exactly. So you were saying, I'm sorry.
No, it's no worries. I did that. Thank you.
Yes, okay.
So, when Oshun, she is absolutely involved and engaged in people healing on the inside. Yeah. And becoming clean. She is about cleanliness, not just on the outside.
No, but inside. What's here?
What's here? And for people to release that. She's like, that's cool. You want to boo? Okay, that's cool. Yeah. But are you going to be able to
maintain this boo when everything inside
with all of that baggage?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So she really, between my ego and Oshun, and I'm no discredit, but that's my head.
Yeah.
She got me together.
I love that.
She got me together. I had to let a lot of stuff go. And I'm still, but it's not what it
was. And you know, this is another thing about healing people. I want us to hear that. I still got a way to go, but it's not what it was. I forget that often. I forget that often. Sometimes I don't appreciate my journey and my growth because I'm like, yeah, but I'm not X. Yeah, but you're not that though. Remember what you used to be? And so just remember that, people. That's just such a key thing you said there, and it's such a good reminder we need, you know.
Can I say a quick prayer?
Of course, please do. Let's do it.
Mother, Father, God, Olodumare, elevated ancestors, Oshun, all of the Oris of everybody on this live, all of the elevated ancestors of everyone on this live, we call on you. We ask and pray for all of those who have come to receive deep and profound healing. We thank you for coming today. Even if you're not sure as to why you're here, we say thank you. We ask and pray that the way be opened up for a beautiful conversation as it has already been. We ask and pray for deep generational healing for all on the behalf of all those who are on this call and those who are connected to them, all of those who hear this live. We ask and pray for Simone, for her life, for all the things that she has come here to get and gather in a wonderful way. May all of her blessings come to her in a beautiful way. May she not move quickly past them, and may they not move past her. May they meet each other in their most divine and destined time. As for everyone else in this call as well, we give thanks for today. We give thanks for our life. We give thanks for peace and just the grace of healing, the grace of life and living, and to be able to rejoice and reclaim our innocence. That is our birthright.
Yes.
Joy and purity, goodness, hope, forgiveness, all of those things are things in which we need to gratitude in order to bring things to us in a wonderful way. We give thanks for all of our divine inheritance, those that we see now and those that we haven't seen yet. We give thanks for the future and today. We ask and pray for deep ancestral healing for everyone on this call. We ask and pray that your week be a beautiful week. May everybody on this call be protected and their loved ones protected from any and all negativity, from COVID, from pneumonia, from any and all sickness. We ask and pray that any and all negativity be bound up, wrapped up, removed from you, and thrown into the ethers, transformed and transmuted into love, life, and joy. And we thank you, we thank you, we thank you. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Oh, Ashe, thank you for that. Yes, you started. Thank you. Woo! That went through, and thank you for those words. I really, really, really thank you for blessing us in this and everybody on the call. Thank you.
So thank y'all. Thank you. But Oshun, she wouldn't let me. She was making my leg hurt. I was like, okay, Mom. She was like,
she's like,
right
child,
now.
can you get on with this? We got things to do. She's like, and that's the thing. The spirits and everything, they'll be like, listen, listen, listen. And you're like, oh, what? Sometimes you're just like, what? Do I have to get knocked in my head for this? But it's like, yeah, you do. But so as you were saying that, you know, you're a survivor of so many different traumatic events for your lifetime. And your Ori is Oshun.
Well, your Ori is your soul.
Is your soul, right? Sorry, the head. Sorry, I got that wrong. Yes.
But my main Orisha
is Oshun.
Oshun.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, with that being said, she is about cleanliness and cleanliness of spirit, cleanliness of self, cleanliness of the physical, and that. And because of this healing you've done, this healing work, is how important you found reclaiming innocence. So, what does that mean to you? That term, reclaiming innocence.
So, I find that especially now, people aren't. We all can be wrapped up in the material, in the way money and jobs and sex and sexuality and all of the things that drive the ego, which is important. Right. Right. I'm not saying those things are important.
No. Yeah.
But innocence is wonder. When we wonder, not like confusion.
Yeah.
Wonder. Looking forward to joy. When you see little kids play, or when you see certain people, you know, that are really involved in life in such a deep way, there's a bit of innocence there. Where there's innocence, there's no jadedness.
No.
There's no skepticism. There's no bitterness.
Yeah.
Right? And so when we've gotten to a good place in healing, that wonder comes back.
Okay.
I look forward to meeting people. And there was one point in my life where I did not. I still use discernment. But innocence is about moving every day in wonder, stopping and look. When you look at the flowers, When you
Yeah.
look at the sky, when you
Mm-hmm.
look at the sun, when you go to the big ocean, the mama waters,
Yeah.
don't you feel that wonder and absolute awe?
Yeah. All the
When you're in nature,
possibilities. Yeah.
yes, in the
Yeah.
forest, you're like, what? The
Yeah.
abundance of it all.
Yeah.
And makes you stop and think, my gosh, this is so amazing. That's the wonder. That's part of the innocence. Like, oh, the sweetness, the sweetness. How can we get to absolute sweetness in our life if we're bitter, if we're jaded, if we're always angry, if we're
Yeah.
always looking at people with a side eye, if we're being petty, you know what I'm saying? If we're being gossipy, how is that?
Right.
Yes, we're human. We have things. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when we get to the innocence, the playfulness, art,
Which actually is our core being. Because
yes,
everything else we've been socialized or something's interrupted us or put
yes,
something on us. But this
yes,
wonder, this
yes.
drive, this innocence is us. This is us, the purest form of us, right?
Yes, if you go back and think about little Simone,
Yeah.
the youngest part of you, 4 or 5-year-old Simone, what were the things that brought her joy? What were the
Dancing.
things
Oh
that
my God, dancing. I love
dancing?
dancing.
When
Yes.
you dance, how do you
Yeah.
feel?
Free. It was the freest thing I could ever do. And I would burst into dance everywhere and anywhere, in the street, in a shop, when someone's talking to me. I never sat like dancing just because I can dance. It was amazing. Yeah.
That's part of reclaiming your innocence. The things that make you feel absolutely joyful.
Yes. Yes.
That the parts of you that didn't think about, you just did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
You just did it, and it made
Yeah.
you feel free. Innocence is freedom.
Yes. I love that too.
Think about it.
Yeah.
When you're angry, when you're resentful, when a person's resentful, when a person is again bitter, skeptical, it's like a vacuum. It's small and it diminishes, right?
Yes. Yeah.
When you think about joy, when you think about like dancing, when you think
Yes.
about sweet things, what does it do?
Yeah.
It
Expands you.
expands you,
Yeah, it expands you. Lifts,
right?
definitely.
Right? And so those things, and so maybe there's another word. I say innocence because, and a lot of times I think people think about innocence and they're like, well, how can you be innocent again? You're still that kid.
Yeah.
You're still that child.
Yeah.
You know, I talk to folks about checking in with their inner kid.
Oh, I have to, because my inner kid been checking me and fucking things up. Listen, let me tell you, my I go to therapy. I'm never ashamed to say it. My therapist, she is the best black woman on earth. I swear to God, she gets me right. And she said, when little Simone shows up, she just fucks everything up. And I'm like, she does. Because there were parts of little Simone that weren't taken care of at that time.
Right.
And so she's stuck there.
Right.
And so her responses are always that. So one thing that's helped me recently is that I'm talking to little Simone in ways that I'm calming her down.
Absolutely.
Because I wasn't doing that before. I was just taking what she was saying to me and being like, yeah, you see, that's and it's like, whoo, adult Simone, who can do all these things and create all these things and move around the world, can calm little Simone down. And so it's been very helpful to me. So that I just wanted to make that point about talking to your inner child.
Oh, honey, okay, so when I was a kid, I went by Sonia. That's my middle name.
Right.
And when Sonia, honey,
showed up,
when she shows up, like there's different, just like there's different gradations of our moods and personalities. There's different gradations and spectrums of our inner child.
Yeah.
Just like with our shadow self, some of our shadow stuff is definitely our inner child.
Yes.
And that's when we, like, I had to get her today. I said, hey girl, we about to go on this live.
Yeah.
And I got you.
Yeah. And that's it. It's the sense of security. When they show it, they lack it so much because our childhoods did lack the security. And so it's about us being like, no. We've moved past the place of being helpless and powerless to an empowered space. Yeah.
Right. And so I think that when people talk about me time, when they're talking about, what is it like, with the pampering and the bath.
Oh, self-care.
All those things.
Yeah.
That there's another way that individuals get to incorporate time with their inner child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like maybe building a fort in their living room, because I did that when I was a kid, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Maybe playing hide and seek with some of their adult friends in the. I'm not talking about the adult version, y'all. I'm talking about.
You know, we can talk about that version. It's not a bad version.
I'm talking about like
because
real...
Black women need orgasms. Sorry, it's something I try and put into every conversation.
Yes.
I'm a big advocate that Black women need more orgasms, more consistent
Absolutely.
orgasms, and high quality orgasms. And I swear to God, Black women, if you ain't demanding these things, I'm gonna beat you up. Sorry, that was just my little ad break.
No,
yeah.
I told you.
It's
The
a thing.
sister, her name is Frenchie Davis. She's an amazing singer. She talks about women having top shelf orgasms.
Up there, top shelf liquor.
Yeah, like top shelf, like
You can't even reach that shit. You still climbing. You still. Sorry, it's a Sunday morning. I'm sorry,
it's
people.
important. I think that that's extremely important.
Yeah,
and
it is.
Even down to, if you, I'm blaming you, Simone.
I know. I always take it. I'm sorry.
Even down to like in BDSM, right? There's an aspect, or there's a kink that goes back to daddy play or mommy play. And it's not like pedophilia.
No.
It's like when that child, that part of you needs, some people want spankings, some people
right, that kind
out.
of authoritative care or that kind of energy that, I get you.
You know what I'm saying? Some people go, if they have a person that's like dom to them, they go and they say, did you color today?
Did
you play hopscotch today?
Right.
Did you go color 30 minutes? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. And so this is also being aware of all these different parts of you and serving them, right?
Yes. Yeah. And so, like, and I'm not saying that somebody going to coloring, it might be somebody's kink, but somebody might just pay someone to remind them.
Yes.
To care for them in that way. And if it turns into busting a nut, great.
Yeah, right? It's the bonus.
But I think that reclaiming our innocence is a huge part of our healing. And honestly, it wasn't until, I would say it's been the last maybe 2 or so years, because I have 3 kids. Yeah. And I would kind of look at them like they were foreign. I wanted to have children so bad. Yeah. I have a great mate and everything. Yeah. But when it came down to having them, and really like by the time they got to be toddlers, and like kind of looking at them like, because I didn't really have a childhood. Right. And so my husband, who is amazing, who is absolutely wonderful with them, he can get down and play with them and all this other stuff, and he would be like, Ananda, I said, look, I can make them cakes, I can do the food, I can do some of those other things, but almost it felt like sometimes what he was asking from me was too much. Yeah, right. And so then I had to go, my ancestors was like, look, no, like, you get to heal. Right. You get to heal, because that way there wouldn't be this big bridge between myself and our children. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Yeah. And so like now, because in the process of reclaiming my innocence, I will play with them, and we will have dance parties. We did a whole dance line the other day. We colored together. We play together. Sometimes we just color together. You know what I'm saying? I do. So that way they know that I am connected to them. I am with them. I'm not invested in them too. Yes, absolutely.
That's a really big thing, that you're taking the time. They see that, and they appreciate it. Like, one of my biggest memories is my dad taking me on Saturdays, walking from our house to the local library so I could change my books all the time. And I it was just that time, me and my dad, hand in hand in the street, going to change my books. Right. It was just a time. It costs nothing. Books are free. You know what I mean? And people, I think sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we're like, oh, take a tablet. You need a tablet. You need a smartphone. No, I just need some time with you. That's it. I just want to ask the people, can you tell us in the comments, what are you doing to reclaim your innocence? First of all, what does your innocence look like? And then what do you do to reclaim and protect it and indulge in your innocence? So tell us in the comments and stuff. So going back to you, Ananda, so you've gone through this journey. The journey is still there. We're not over, right? But you are in a much better place than what you were. And so reclaiming your innocence, what do you think are the best tools, or what tools have worked for you in helping you to reclaim your innocence, you know?
That's such a good question. So one of the things was, and I know we were going to get to it, but you asked me,
Right. Okay, go on.
was writing the book that I wrote, Yay Sweetwaters and the Mean Mermaids.
Yes.
That definitely helped.
Yes. Tell us about the book. What's the book about?
So the book is about this beautiful city called Ilu Aladun, and that means city of sweetness in Yoruba. And it takes place underwater in ancient Yoruba land. And Yeye Sweetwaters is the chief of this beautiful mermaid community, right? And so there is a disruption when some mermaids start bullying another mermaid about her family. And it was rooted in jealousy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so Yeye Sweetwaters helps everybody, but it's really especially is able to plug into the antagonist, the mean mermaid, the leader mean mermaid, with turning the mirror on her in a gentle and loving way. And I would say using like emotional intelligence and restorative practices without alienating her and without demonizing her. Right?
Yeah.
And so the book is great. Look, can I show you real quick?
Yeah. Go for it. Oh, it's so cute. I love this. Did you do the illustrations yourself?
Oh, no. The illustrator, her name is Roz.
Oh,
but I wrote the book.
Yes. It's your words. It's your content. No, that's amazing. I love it.
She did an amazing job.
Oh, that's so great. Oh, amazing. You need to tell us, where can people get the book? Where do we get this book from?
They can get it on sweetweirdness.com under books.
Okay, and sweet weirdness is actually spelled sweet, but the weirdness is with a W-Y for yolk, R-D-N-E-S-S. Okay, yes. And it's actually what, you know, her handle is. And so writing the book was very therapeutic for you and things like that. I know I've got books and films inside of me, but my monkey brain and my Sagittarius spirit is just like, no, it's not. You can't sit down for more than 10 minutes. No. So that hasn't happened yet. So for people like me who don't sit down anywhere, what other tools can we use to reclaim our to reclaim our innocence, but also to nurture it? I think it's not only pulling it back. It's like, now I've got it. What do I do to keep it here, to keep it protected, to keep it flourishing, you know?
I would honestly, so there are a couple different things. So for me, I think therapy definitely helped me because I had started therapy years ago, and I did a lot of inner child work in therapy. I did play work in therapy, you know what I mean? And so that helped. I think
I always say, get a therapist, people. Even if you think you don't need it, you probably need it the most.
I would say find someone who specializes in like childhood trauma or a certain kind of trauma. I would say I'm really about the business of people having a guide.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be for a long time. It might be for 3 or 6 months, but someone who has a little bit more of a range.
Right.
And who can see where you've been and
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Can guide you through the process.
And that's it.
Yes. Yeah. I love that.
I would say meditation.
Yeah.
And I would also just say getting out of your head, and meditation helps with that.
Yeah.
Art.
Yeah.
Getting paint, getting different things that you just start doing some things that you have not done, that you've thought about doing, that you were like, well, that might look weird, or I don't want to look funny. Just start.
Yeah.
And don't judge it.
Right. Don't judge it. I love that. I wanted to read some of the things that people are talking about their innocence. You know, the question I posed to everyone.
Yes.
So Cat's Corner said, my innocence looks like lazing around, reading and eating zebra snack cakes. Little Liabo is a dreamer. Ayabo is a dreamer. Yes. Dream on, girl, and eat them zebra snacks. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Right. Duen O says, reclaiming your innocence, listen to the wisdom of people like Sweetweirdness. That's amazing. Yes, that's definitely one way to do it. We have, and then Emma Larche was asking, how do you eat your zebra cakes? Because there's probably some OCD processes going on here, because she said, do you pull them apart? And I think what we're going to have is 2 camps, one that doesn't pull them apart and one that does. Okay, get into it, my favorite people. And so I think Melanated Mystic said, I loved prints, patterns, loud colors, and flowy clothes as a kid. Over time, my wardrobe became all neutral colors so I could fit in and not draw attention to myself, adding prints and color to my life. Melanated Mystic, could you please get into color again? I'm telling you, I am a very, this is the things going on with me. I'm West African, I'm Ghanaian, I'm from South London. And I like gold. I was brought up in a time of gold and stuff. So I'm like a magpie. So I usually have got tons of jewelry on and all the rest of it. Since COVID, I don't even wear that much jewelry anymore. But color. Every time I used to say, it's not a funeral, why are you wearing black? Like, don't wear black. Color, please. Melanated Mystic, wear color. We wear color. Oh, yes. Why? That's what the melanin's for. We can get away with it. No one else can.
Yeah.
So wear color. That's my point there. Art Loves Me For Me says, I'm talking to my little girl and telling her how awesome she is, how amazing she is. I'm talking to trees and animals outside and creating, singing and dancing and listening to songs from my youth. Yes. That's a brilliant thing, listening to songs from your youth. It brings back some amazing memories.
Amazing.
Right?
Music.
Right?
The music, also the dancing. I know when I dance, honey, that takes me to a whole other space.
Yeah, you're right.
I love house music too. House music?
Oh.
Deep house?
What?
There's nothing
That's
like it.
My shit. That's my shit. Like, what? Yes, I'm an old house head and I will take it back. And like, I was a bit of a house nerd and a DJ. That was like, I'd done it all. So I had many lives. I started off this whole entertainment thing, like, and I started DJing, then I turned into an accidental promoter. Then I had my own open mic nights, and then it just built on top of each other. I've been doing it since I left uni. Like, I love music. That's one of my big things. Freeze Nuts here says, my inner child is a bookworm. Time alone, reading is joy. That's lovely. That is such a good thing. And I swear, like, there's something about being alone that is so meditative, in the space that, look, all of me is here and I'm serving all of me, Emma Larche says, my favorite time. Yeah, go for it. Girl, I don't mind if it's vodka. We can all do it. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. My favorite time was spent outside in the woods, making mud pies, digging up worms and slugs, eating dandelion flowers, exploring either in person or in a book. Yes, I love it. Get into that dirt. I very much was kind of like a tomboy. Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Kat, I love you. I see her out there. Thank you all, everybody that came on here. This has been so awesome.
It really has.
I would also say that everybody's reclamation of their innocence looks very different.
There we go.
It's going to look very different. It's going to be it's personal.
Yes, but it is.
And the important part is that child that we left, a lot of us leave that child behind, but don't know that child is running amok in the boardroom, is running amok, running countries.
Can you please say it? Can you say it?
Politics, you understand what I'm saying? Is running amok, bullying other people, grown people. You know what I'm saying? So when people are able to really rein that in, they'll realize that their inner child has been terrorizing the shit out of them and a whole bunch of other folks.
Again. Oh my God, like, you're saying everything and it's so clear to me. It was so funny. I went to this meditative healing recently, Kundalini it was. Okay. And in this meditation, my younger self came to me and she said, and because it was about clearing and getting rid of stuff, it was very powerful. And she said, she ran up to me and she goes, don't you love me anymore? And I said, no, it's not that I don't love you, but I can't have you driving my life. You can't run my life anymore. And then she went, okay, bye. And she just skipped off. And then I'm in tears for like 40 minutes because I'm like, oh my God, she thought I was trying to abandon her, was it? And it's just, as you said, running amok in boardrooms. And the amount of times I've reacted to things because this little Simone's been like, oh, he's trying to just treat you just like how this person used to treat you. That's what that's about. And you're right about that. We have to get a handle on our inner child. We have to know who it is and manage accordingly,
Let me tell you, so like a year ago, I was having this conversation, and I've struggled. I don't want to say struggled. I have been thick all my life. My father's Nigerian. I have some thick ass bones. Then I got some thick ass meat to go on them thick ass bones, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, I literally had the body that I've had since I was 9, 10 years.
Right. And I know the problems that come with that. Trust me.
You know what I mean?
Trust me. Yeah. I've had boobs since God knows when. And
Right.
woo.
And so,
Yeah.
one day last year, I was sitting in front of the shrines, and I was, thinking about getting into working out, this and the other. And I was so grateful when I talked to my astrologer a couple weeks ago. Carlos is the bomb. When I
He
talked
is,
to
by the
him
way.
2 weeks ago, and I said, Carlos, what is there anything? He said, I didn't have anything in my chart around physical fitness.
I know, when he's like, that house is empty. It's like, oh, is it? Is it?
So what do you mean? And he was like, so yoga, dance, things like that are good for me, which are the things that I love to do. But in terms of like regimented running and stuff like that,
it's not your way.
That's not you.
Yeah.
So a year ago, I was sitting in my shrines and I was talking about maybe working out or something like this, right? Yo, I had a flashback. So you remember, I don't know if y'all did this in Britain, but here they have like physical fitness tests when you're in elementary school.
The bleep test. You run from one side of the room to the other, and it gets faster, and it's like, that person's out, that kind of thing.
Well, this thing is measuring where you are in your physical abilities.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's a test. So one of the tests were having this big ass rope from the ceiling to the ground, and you had to hoist yourself,
climb up. I hate that shit.
Right?
Don't ask me to climb up there. Yeah, hate that shit.
And I remembered when I went to do it, I could barely lift myself up. And I remember my number. This is one of the reasons why I don't weigh myself. My number.
Don't do it. It's a crime. It's actually
a
crime. Yeah,
my number for passing or failing was written next to my fucking name. And so then they give these children, now if you're fast and you can climb the rope, then you're excellent.
Yeah. But that's just about upper body strength. That's not actually about fitness. That's about upper body strength, right?
Right. But either way, you're being measured. You're being measured against other children.
Judged.
You're being measured against whatever system they're trying to measure you against.
Right.
And I remember bawling when I remembered that, because my child had taken that
and carries it
for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So then I never got into. I had a breakthrough. This is why that's why I didn't even dance around people like that, because I didn't want to feel like I was being judged or held up against somebody else. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
And so getting into that healing with our inner child and reclaiming our innocence actually helps us to get to the roots. And this is why I strongly urge for people to go to therapy.
Yes.
Counseling.
Because it helps you get out the way.
Oh,
that's the core of the problem.
That's
what the fuck I'm doing.
Yes.
Oh, this is why I'm a bit of a mess right now.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I tell people, I'm like, you get to have a reputable astrologer on your team. You get to have a reputable reader or healer on your team.
You're completely right.
You get to have
this is your spiritual army.
Right.
Because it's not only ancestral, there's spiritual people on this earth, on your plane, that has to help you through too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And who are not gonna, they're not gonna rape you financially, physically, emotionally.
Right.
I tell people,
they really guide you. Yeah.
Be discerning about who you bring into your life.
Big time. And that's the thing, that's why this is happening. This is why we have Ancestrally Speaking, because I want to talk to people, healers, all sorts of people who are dealing in the ancestral technologies that we have, about how they've come to this, right? Because I feel like we're so used to these toxic leadership frameworks that people just think, oh, look, they got 5,000 followers or whatever it is, and they must know what they're talking about. No, child, that's not how this works, especially spiritual stuff. Especially spiritual stuff.
And honestly, some people want to be fooled by the glitter, by the gold, by the shiny. Yeah. They think that that's where it's at, and it's like, no, it's not where it's at. Like, you really get to be a good person, and everybody that has a bunch of followers, and everybody they're good people who speak the
Yeah,
name of people who are not good, and it
yeah.
actually leads people to follow those people. You understand?
Right, right. I do. I saw a few comments there about just how people were thinking back to childhood traumas as your own,
Oh,
such as
please.
the
Yeah.
what do you call it? The EP, the physical education kind of test that they were taking.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting how we have to be very careful in how we see ourselves or how we've been allowed to see ourselves
Yeah.
and the pictures we're creating for ourselves, right? And
Yeah.
so this is why we should always be doing this interrogation work. You know, why do I call myself fat? Because I'm looking at all the white skinny girls that I'm presented with all the fucking time, right? And this was particularly something in England that I always felt big, but I wasn't. And especially I went to a dancing school and I was one of the few black girls there. And the white girls who were my age were smaller than me, shorter than me, and thinner than me. And I mean, for me, look like they were a bag of bones. That's just how their constitution was. But because
Right.
everybody was around there, and then there's me, athletic, and I was not even a big girl, but I felt huge. And
Right.
when I see those pictures now, I'm like,
Right.
Jesus, child, you just a normal you were a normal
Exactly.
child. And I
Exactly.
wasn't even overweight. It was none of that. It was
Exactly.
just a normal child. But when all your markers and reference points are not
Yes.
you,
That's
then we
exactly what
draw
I'm
these
talking about.
understandings about ourselves, you know?
When I go back and look at pictures of
Yeah,
myself when I was 4 years old, I
right.
actually had muscles.
But me too. I have an athletic build, you know. I
Right.
mean, now this is something else, but you know, it used to be athletic. But do you know what I mean? It's
Honey, it
like
is
that
sensual
whole thing.
softness and sumptuous goodness. All right.
Thank you. but you know what I mean,
I
right?
know
Like
what
I
you
was someone who
mean.
was lean. If I moved something, I would never put on fat. And this is, you know,
Right.
there's all of that kind of stuff. And so it's really funny how I used to look at myself. And even
Yeah.
like as I grew up, how I was like, I used to feel so big. And I look back on them pictures, I was like, where? I wish I had, you know, I wish I was back there
Right.
because that wasn't too bad. You know what I mean? And we got to be so careful about what we're taking in about ourselves. And also having a group around us that can challenge us about that shit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's not just when people say, don't call yourself fat. No, it's about, but why would you think you're fat? You know
Right.
what I mean? It's that kind of language. Because
Right.
fat phobia is a real thing that
Oh
we
God.
really don't check a lot. You
People
know,
don't.
they don't check a lot.
People
So
don't.
in this journey of reclaiming your innocence, and it's one of the most powerful tools we have, right, for getting back to self and being
Yes.
able to really live abundantly and within us and stuff like that. What would you say is the hardest thing that you've had to do on that journey of reclaiming your innocence? And also, what would you say was the best thing?
So
What
I
are
would
those
say
things?
the
Yeah.
hardest thing is being absolutely doing the inquiry work and being absolutely like honest.
Yes. Yes.
Being honest with myself, being
Ooh,
honest
yeah.
with other people, being really straight up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've practiced that for a long time because I
Mm-hmm,
used to be just a voracious liar. I lied about shit I shouldn't even lie about. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah.
wouldn't know the truth if it came up and gave me head. Like I just, but
Wow. That's a lot. Yeah.
yeah, when I was in my 20s, oh my God, I stopped lying like for real, when I was in my 20s.
Right.
But
Right.
I'd say the truth,
Yeah.
the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the best thing,
Mm-hmm.
what's the second question? What was the
Yeah,
best
so
thing?
it was, what was the hardest thing of this journey of reclaiming your innocence, and
Uh-huh.
what has been the best thing about reclaiming your innocence?
The best thing is my smile. I smile every day.
Yes, and
I
that definitely is
smile
a
every
reclamation.
day.
Yes,
Every day
yes,
I smile. Even when I have bad moods, because child, I'm a
yeah,
Cancerian. I can be
yeah,
moody.
yes. I know
Um,
my dad. My dad is. Yeah, I know you people. I know you. Hmm.
but my smile. I smile every day.
Yeah,
There's joy.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
joy. And joy does not leave because somebody's in a bad mood or because
No,
something's not
right.
going my way. There's a peace.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
joy and peace are best friends, just to let y'all know.
Can we actually talk about the difference between being happy and being joyful, and or the difference between happy and joy? Because you know,
Absolutely.
people say, "I want to be happy. I want to be happy," but
Right.
what is that? Because I know that I want to be full of joy. That feels
Right.
like a more better energy for me.
So happiness is like when people are like on the upswing,
Mm.
but something
Mm.
come and just
So it's
knock
about
your stuff down,
right,
and then
right,
you're like, ugh, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
And happiness can be there for a while, a little bit,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Inevitably, something's going to come
mm-hmm.
and remove it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And even when something's trying to come and get it,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you have like joy. So I have days where I'm really, really happy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm really happy to be
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's likewise.
this happiness that I'm feeling with you and all the people
Yeah.
here right now,
Yeah.
it does not negate the joy. The joy is still there.
Still there. That's the constant.
That's the constant.
So it's kind of about timing kind of thing, is it? Periods, the consistency of it. Happiness can...
So when I was depressed, when I was my most depressed self,
Mm-hmm.
I had days where I was depressed, and then I had okay days. I was like, I'm okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I started, and let me just say, how I got to joy, it might be different for someone else, is when I finally decided to let all my shit go. It was from surrendering and choosing to have a more abundant life, choosing life, choosing goodness, choosing the expansion of existence, choosing that. And in that, I chose joy. And it's something that nobody can take from you. Once you've claimed it, it is there.
Yeah.
And it actually never went away. We're born with joy.
Yeah. You're right. You're completely right. So we just got to remember it. We've got to remember it and protect it.
So
Hi, I'm so sorry about that. Did it pause?
It did. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to move over here. And I'm going to hold
Okay, no worries.
Because
I'm not sure what happened there. It's like I got a call.
Juice from your phone.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Somehow a call came. It was weird. Anyway, yeah.
So, can I do something with you real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. So, Simone, you are love. You were born with love. That is your birthright. You are love. You are joy. You are peace. You are creation. You are eternities living in your body. You are absolute whimsy. You are absolute goodness. You are absolute divinity. You are purity. You are all the things that the universe is sitting inside of you right now. That is you, and that is everyone on this call. That is everyone in life. And when life happens, we have to remind ourselves that we are those things, that we are love, that we are joy, that we are peace, that we are forgiveness. We are all the things that we're born in. Situations and circumstances bring the other thing. In order to know our joy, we have to also have pain. If we don't have pain, we will never get back to the joy. But pain is not something that we're supposed to claim for all of our existence. It is just for a time and space. And some people forget that. They think that that is how life is supposed to be. And it's not. And you know what? If people in other countries that live off $1 a day can find joy, can
we
be
certainly
absolutely connected to goodness in their life, then
right.
Gosh darn it, so can anybody else.
Right. Yes. Yes.
And all those things come from gratitude. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really not some light and love kind of person, because I think that when people speak from that, and I have a couple of people that I know who will definitely agree with me, that that is actually dismissive sometimes. That when you tell people don't
it's spiritually bypassing.
Yes, when people talk about, well, don't talk, if you're negative, don't bring it over here. Well, the reason why you're saying that is because you're dealing with your own negativity. Just because people have some real stuff going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, if you don't have the bandwidth, that's a completely
different thing. Right. Yeah. So thank you for those blessings and those words that you spoke into us. We felt them. And what's so beautiful about you, I've just recently met you, right? And we've had some really deep and meaningful conversations already. And I've enjoyed them. And you've opened me up in ways that I think I not only I needed, but was not the last part of my healing, but it was one that I wasn't accessing properly. And that was about allowing to trust my imagination and my dreams again, to trust the dreams that I have for myself, to trust that it's going to happen, and that I have to really believe in that and protect that. And so I think that's the work where you're saying about reclaiming innocence, right? Because if we don't understand our innocence, if we don't celebrate our innocence, if we don't live in that innocence, like it's an active part of us. So it's not this dormant thing that we just kind of say, okay, on Sundays, I'm going to do this. No. It's got, right? It's every day. We've got to find ways to kind of access it at all times.
Right.
And I think sometimes we shut parts of ourselves down because it's so scary to trust that we can have these things that we really want because something has happened, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so I think we're at a point where, especially marginalized communities, and the reason why I say marginalized communities is because there's so many intersects to what the groupings we are. Yes, you're Black, but then there's women, then there's LGBTQIA, you know, like there's so many intersects. And I want to make sure that anyone who's feeling marginalized can use these tools that we have found within our ancestral traditions, within our ancestral technologies, right?
Yes.
Because they've been living as we have, and they've handed these tools to us, and we have to wake up to them. Yeah. Because all the other tools, they ain't shit. I'm just gonna be very clear with you all. They ain't shit. And also they're a very poor, bad imitation of the original African technologies.
You better know that's right. Yes.
Don't play with me. Don't let me get on that soapbox this Sunday morning. Because you know I don't come off that. You know I don't, right? You know I'm always banging that drum.
Yeah.
Like, it started here. It started in Africa. And people just be like, okay, smart. I'm like, it did.
But it did. But it did.
Right?
And I think that when people recognize, and I think that's one of the biggest things about white racism supremacy is they don't know that they are actually African. Once they get back to that, like I'm saying for real, like it might be...
I will crash a whole white supremacist world within 2 seconds. Everything that they'll talk about, I said, you know that's Africa. Let me show you how.
Right, exactly.
Everything. Do you know what people... I'm going to give you a little nugget here. Do you know that the Girl Guides and the Scouts kind of concept comes from Ghana? We have in the Fanti community, we have what we call Asafos, right? And they were mini armies made of the young girls and the young boys. So when the elder people went off to fight, that they would have all the techniques to protect the town. So they would go out and they would learn how to build a fire, how to do all these survival techniques.
Wow.
And then obviously the Europeans saw this and it turned into the Boy Scouts. It turned into the Brownie Guys. We've been here. Don't try me. Don't try me. We've been here. No, I found that out because there are these flags that represent each Asafo that each tribe has. And then I read up on the history. And there's a brilliant thing called Asafo Flags, a brilliant IG profile. Please follow people. It will give you some. I'm telling you, our people are brilliant. And when I say our people, I mean anybody of African descent. We're brilliant. Please don't allow that European interruption for you not to feel connected. Do not do that.
Not at all.
Do not do that.
And honestly, if they would go back and reclaim their own ancestral traditions, they would be much better off.
Hello, because you were worshipping trees too. Hello, pagan. You weren't doing all of this. They burnt a lot of you at the stake because you didn't want Christianity. So don't come to me. Don't. As I said, I'll crush a white supremacist dream in 2 seconds. Don't do that.
I know
because
that's right.
this is the thing. People don't want to look at their own histories.
Yeah.
Like England wasn't fully Christian until whenever the Roman Catholics came and did what they did. Like,
absolutely.
What were you doing before that?
Right. Yeah.
So we have to keep asking these questions. We have to keep living in our innocence. But, you know, I just want people to feel more empowered around the really vulnerable and thorny parts of themselves.
Yes.
The parts of themselves that are scary.
Yes.
Right? So the parts of yourself that's scary is a part that can get hurt. The parts of yourselves that are scary is your anger sometimes because you can't control it sometimes. Right. And then knowing where that anger's from. And this is what your work has done. So you can hold it back or let it go when it needs to be let go, because that's another thing.
I think that I'm not above like righteous indignation or anger. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a place and time for it. But what was happening for me is that everything, I'd get pissed off, and then the slightest thing was I'd be insulted, I'd feel away. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so sometimes, a lot of times, don't need all that.
And it's a lot of energy.
It's a lot of
energy.
Coolness. I'm gonna tell you, coolness. A lot of spiritual baths.
I'm trying. I got it tattooed onto me. This is calm. The Adinkra symbol for listen, people. I have such a problem with my coolness. I had to get this shit tattooed. This is the Adinkra Adjo. This is it, because Simone needs to remember, be calm when I want to flame everyone up. It's just I got a lot of fire, people.
That's that Sagittarius. And then you got the bow and arrow too.
I'm telling you, like, I'm having such a reckoning. This thing, I think I've mentioned to you guys, I have a puppy. This puppy is a goon. He don't listen to me. He does what the hell he wants. He picks fights with the older dogs that I take him to see. And it's play fighting, but he just does what he wants. And I'm like, he's such a goon. And my friends are like, so are you. I'm like, I'm not a goon, you know. And then I was like, he's so dramatic. And then my friends are like, so are you. And I'm like, oh, me? Dramatic? And I'm like, he is me. My dog is me. My dog is me. And I'm like, he's a goon. I'm not a goon. But anyway, but it's you know, I make those points to say that these are all the things that we have in us, and I'm learning to appreciate them and give them a seat at the table. And also when I pull them up for use, right? So sometimes that South London goon's got to come in, you know. And I saw that Kay Gardet was like, I like it when somebody said, don't try me. South London lingo, girl, don't try. Like, I know when to pull out their guns, and sometimes I don't pull out a gun. Sometimes I'm just like, hey, I'm going to give you a hug. Or, hey, you look good today. Yeah. Or, you know, don't come near me. You're not 6 feet. We got all these things going on, right? Right. And so, and thanks, Cat's Corner. Yes, I know. You were one of the first people to call me a goon. Thank you. And I was just like, goon? Goon? Me? I mean, disgustly. How could they ever call me that? So, you know, this conversation has not only been elevating for the spirit, it has been real, because it's two women who have seen the world from a lens they didn't want or were given, and we didn't appreciate it, and have learned to turn that lens into all these beautiful things. Your book is beautiful. Your spirit and soul is beautiful. You spoke these powerful words into all of our lives today on this lives, and I just want to thank you for doing what you do, because we need people like you on earth. We really, really, really do. And I think on top of what we need from you, I hope you are also getting what you need as well, and you're being, you know, good about it. So tell us, what do you need?
I need for y'all to buy my book.
Do it. Where do we buy your book? Where do we buy it from?
And let me say real quick why. Because we have millions of young girls and young boys that are of African descent and African who do not see themselves in folklore, who do not see themselves in the mystical stories, who do not know that that is a part of their legacy, that is part of their birthright. And so they get to know about that, and they get to know about community. And you can get it at sweetweirdness.com. And also in the next 6 weeks, look out for a beautiful black mermaid called Yeye Sweetwater's plush toy.
I love this. So I love mermaids. It reminds me of the film, the 80s film Splash with Daryl.
Splash, yes.
What? And it just, that film really got my imagination going, just about all these people who could, it was just everything. So yes, I love that vision you've given me about mermaids. So Ananda Free, it's been mind-blowing. The comments have been off the hook. We've enjoyed this.
I can't even see them anymore. Can you tell me some of the last ones?
So Cat's Corner says, you two are amaze balls. I love it. Emma Leche, she's been going through, man. She's been like, man, that brought some tears to me. Then she's like, yes, it's a word. I'm like, girl, we took you through. Thank you. It's a whole therapy session here. You're welcome for free too. Yes. And then we got Z2C, she's just laughing. Everybody's just enjoying themselves and saying thanks and all the rest of it. So thank you so much, Ananda. I'm really, really appreciative of you giving us your time. I want you back. So you're going to be coming back here to give us some more of your goodness. Yeah. So we're going to get you back on the IG Live. Guys, this has been Ancestrally Speaking on July the 19th. I'm so excited to do these things. And I've introduced you all to Sweet Weirdness. Please go follow her. Please buy this book, and let's get this healing done so we can burn out these generational bullshit and get onto the lives that we have and we're supposed to have. Please, people, this is about us. I love you too. Thank you so much.
I love you.
Bye, everyone. Take care. Bye.